Feeling better now, sis?
A bit. Just feel sorry for that poor girl. Happiness and a proper family are all she wanted, and that Lord Ashton bloke took it all away with his jealousy. It's just not fair.
Well, there's not much we could have done. It was over 100 years ago, and it's not as if those people really meant anything to us.
Over 100 years ago. I often wonder what it would be like to live in those days.
Yeah, no TVs, computers, mobile phones, PlayStation.
My dear materialistic brother, bless you. You know, Stephen and Algie have probably visited the past.
What, in that ship of theirs? Yeah, I'm still a little bit sceptical about those two. A bag of tricks. And that Algie does come up with some strange stuff, doesn't he?
Well, maybe tomorrow they'll get a chance to show us what their precious venture can do.
What are you talking about? Are you planning something, sis?
Not at all, but I like Stephen and Algie. I think it'd be fun to go travelling with them.
Maybe. Anyway, I'm knackered. See you in the morning, sis.
Night. She was so pretty.
Thank you.
You're related to her, aren't you?
That's very perceptive of you, Stephen.
A great aunt?
Let me present to you Jack Price, the bastard son.
There's no need for that.
Oh, it's a fact, miss. And it's a very suitable nickname. He grew up adopted by Phoebe's aunt and uncle, protected from the truth by a childhood of love and happiness. He lived here in the farm, in this very house.
He's the ghost.
Well, his spirit haunts the house, an unhappy, unhelpful, grievous presence.
So, I take it he learnt the truth about his father?
Eventually, people kept secrets better in those days.
Yeah, my college mates put everything up on their MySpace pages. One girl told everyone about our problem with crabs.
Well, Jack was an adult by the time he learnt the awful truth. He'd led a sheltered life. He was in his late 30s before he found a wife. He went off to war. And then when he came home, he settled down, became a father at 51 to a son.
You?
Yes.
You're the grandson of Phoebe and Lord Ashton.
Well, when I was 3, my father went to a reunion with some of his old army chums. You couldn't believe it, but his commanding officer had been related to Ashton. Told him all about it. My father was furious. He came home, he wrecked the house, he started drinking heavily. I think my mother took us away to live in the village.
What happened to your father?
Well, he drank himself to death. I think my mother received a telegram when I was about 12 saying he'd been found at the house dead. God, that was over 40 years ago. He's haunted this cottage ever since, you know. All I want to do is bring peace back to this cottage. For Jack to rest in peace. I don't really want to bring up such a shameful story.
Stephen, can Max and I have a word with you, please?
It's suddenly gained my attention.
This spaceship of yours, can it travel through time as well as space?
Yes, but it's not a time machine.
It's not.
No. If you travel at a certain speed through the spatial dimension known as the relative route, the venture can end up at different points of time.
That's amazing.
So theoretically we could go back to the time Phoebe was raped.
Hold on. You saying we should go back and prevent the rape from happening?
Of course I am.
It's too risky. Changing one thing can lead to huge implications. You're changing the timeline. Jack would never have been born. Look, he fought in the Second World War, right? So, what if, say, your grandfather was saved by Jack? But without Jack, your grandfather would have surely died. So you two had never been born and ceased to exist.
My grandfather never fought in the war.
Yes, Max, you can see the example I'm trying to put across, but do you understand the effects it could have?
I suppose.
In fact, preventing the rape from happening would lead to the extinction of Harry.
He would just vanish?
He was an eventual product of the attack. Yes, he would vanish.
Harry?
Listen, I don't pretend to understand you all, and frankly I don't want to. But if there's any way you can go back and change things, then I beg you to do it.
But you would...
I know what would happen to me, but it would only be me that would disappear. And if that means that Michael and Phoebe avoided the hanging and got married as they intended, that would only mean happiness for everyone.
It's too dangerous.
Maybe I can persuade you.
Oh, Harry.
I don't want to use it. I wouldn't use it. So don't put me in a position where I might change my mind. Now, are you going to take me back to 1900 or not?
So it was that way you ran?
Yes, and we ended up on your ship.
This is where we first entered the cottage. Is it a time passage?
Something like that, Algie. More like a gap in time. I can get Robo to lock onto the time rift and we can return to the exact point of time and space.
Mum's dozed off in the lounge, and bet she doesn't know about all this.
Robo, have you locked onto our coordinates?
Affirmative, Master. Date set for April 2nd, 1900.
Excellent. Ready when you are?
So what do we do now then? Hold hands and run?
Yes.